Welcome, friends, gamers, and other enthusiasts to the BoydofZINJ channel. I hope you enjoy your time here and the video. Please like, subscribe, do all the bell icons, and comment. It really does help small content creators like myself and others by doing so. If you click on the notifications, it may even let others and the YouTube gods know that they may enjoy these videos. With that being said, let's play. All right, before I start the adventures of episode 7, or 007, if you will, I'm going to run an experiment. I've been listening to this and I need some sort of music. Music can really enhance a video, so I'm going to add music. I like anime, and I've been searching around, and one of the animes I like is American content creator RWBY by Rooster Teeth. It's made by the folks in Austin. I'm in Texas. I'm in San Antonio, Texas, to be exact. So why not? I like their music. They're wonderful. So from this point forward, I'll put some RWBY music. If I get any content strikes, it'll have to stop. So this is an experiment. Let's see what happens. I hope you enjoy the music and the episode. Leave comments below if you have any other suggestions. Please, it really does help. Episode 7. Okay, before we talk about episode 7, I hope you all enjoyed the shortened version of the intro for City Skylines. Let me know in the comments. Not that anyone really cares. Anyhow, episode 7. Just to recap, the House Krita faction sent some delegation to Boydton. After much talk and debate, it was clear that Boydton could open up fishing rights within the city and start off with a fishing pier, 2 fishing harbors, 2 fishing farms, and 1 manufacturing plant for fish. Well, 1 fishing manufacturing plant with the rights to build another manufacturing plant and a market, which I still haven't done yet, which I'll do probably in episode 8. Sorry, guys. Likewise, the Krita delegation has requested that we start putting residential buildings and homes zoning for their incoming workers and additional Krita house factories who want to move in. And as I mentioned before, there is no Japanese theme. There is a Korean theme, and I know Korean is not exactly Japanese. And House Krita primarily, has a theme of Imperial Shogunate Japan, but that's the closest I can do. All right, so let's take a look at the episode. All right, this is a small police asset for the Japanese theme. I forgot what the DLC was exactly called. I'm sure you can let me know in the comments. And I figured those small police boxes Japanese police boxes fit perfectly well with the fact that the Dracona's Combine law enforcement is very small, but they still have presence within the area. What do you think about that? All right, it's time to start making or enhancing and adding to the House Krita residence, right? Now, one thing I've noticed is, and this at first I didn't make a change, but this north-south world is now acting more like an arterial road, and I have it as a collector road. I'm going to need to update that soon. However, this is me talking from the future. I'm doing a voiceover. I'm going to fast forward this because this is kind of the boring parts, as I'm just putting layouts of the roads and stuff. And you'll notice that I'm going to respect the topography and geography a lot more than I have in the past. I feel that residents especially don't have the demand to change the topography. Now, industry would, right? Which is why I made such big changes for the industry. Residents, not so much. All right, this is me from the future. I'm fast forwarding it. The magic and power of editing. Wham! Okay, so we're pausing here, or we're going to take a little bit more look here. You'll notice that I had this runabout, and it's no longer highways. I made a 6-lane road, and this is supposed to be a Buddhist temple. However, I'm also making it part of the 5 pillars of bureaucracy, the order of the 5 pillars, which is the Dracona's Combine. And this is, as you enter the residential area, this is the first feature that you get to. And you'll notice that I put both sidewalk and bicycle lanes, but I put them underground because this is supposed to be a tranquil, serene place where it's supposed to be beauty and look beautiful, which is why I'm decorating it too. On the flip side, when you want, if you're on the other side of the road and on cross, you do underground. Or if you have a far distance to walk, as you get closer, you'll be forced to go underground if you don't want to travel overhead. And I'm also putting some decorations, and eventually I'll put parking here as well. And you'll notice that the parking is kind of large, so I'm going to have to put it off to the side. The highways to the east, and we're inverted, so north is down. This situation. And again, with the Dracona's Combine, they have a duty and honor to think about as well. They want to make sure that, the first glimpse that you go into their area, their faction area, especially their residential faction area, that you feel at peace, calm, and it looks beautiful, which is why I'm decorating this and taking my time here. I hope you enjoy. I'm going to be fast forwarding it from this point forward, but I just want to, explain my thoughts about this. And you notice I'm even putting, I was thinking cherry blossoms, and it's those different colored trees. I'm not a treeologist, or I guess there would be botanists. I come from Texas, and here in San Antonio, Texas, where I'm from, we lack green. We're not the Garden State. We're not New Jersey. I've been to New Jersey. It feels like someone, threw paint over New Jersey just to get it all green. That's not the way how Texas is. At least, you know, I mean, yes, there's lots of green here and there's lots of forest in some areas of Texas. It's not all desert here. And you'll notice I'm even putting, lights and even, some decorations in the back. And while it's, it's pleasing to look, it has no, there's no min max value of it. These decorations are doing nothing other than making sure that this is some place where I would want to live, right? Now I'm putting fence, and you notice there's gaps in the fences where pedestrians would be able to walk from, into this area, which is the way how I think it should be. Again, this is open to the public. Anyone can and should go to the Order of the Five Pillars Temple, and but they wanted to show that this is a place, of extreme beauty and some place that anyone from any faction from this planet would love to go to, right? So that's why I'm taking my time in this area. I hope you enjoy. And if you have any ideas on it, if you think it's a little too cluttered as well, let me know in the comments. If you have any ideas on this area. Remember, I'm not using any mods, no cheats, no DLC. I'm sorry, I'm using DLC, all content DLC, but no cheats, no mods, no console commands, no known exploits, and nothing downloaded. This is all, vanilla assets with any content DLC that I purchased. I purchased all the DLC minus, some of the music radio DLC since I can't play music since I'm a lowly content creator and I'll get copyright infringements. And again, I'm putting lights because yes, you would want lights, especially in the areas that you're going from underground to above ground. You would want lights, and around the entrances as well. You want extra lights as well, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments if you feel otherwise. Alright, you notice I added a elementary school, or just student elementary school to the space, and it's going to be more the elite area. So I'm doing fences to this area to give them more privacy to the residents, to give them slightly more comfort. And then I'm also going to give them some decorations, so that way these residents will enjoy the finer things in life. I would imagine that these are pre-constructed homes, right? And that we have certain requirements, requested by the homeowner, or in this case, probably like the faction people, right? It says, okay, please add this to these homes. It's okay. So that's what we're doing. I'm adding this, because in my neighborhood, we have like these electricity meters that will judge electricity and that look fine. And then pots, why not? I'm trying to give it decor. The, I know we have an industrial need, so we need money. So, and industry is a way to fill needs. And I'm adding parking lot to this area. Then we're going to fast forward to time and let it build up. And of course, now we're in a pickle. This area is not connected to the electricity, and even the Buddhist temple is not connected to electricity. So I put this Japanese garden, the dragon, in here to connect it to, but now I need some way to connect the electricity from here to another zone. Eventually, I'm gonna put windmills there, but this is a stop gap measure, real cheap, real fast to get this, make sure this area gets electricity, right? I'm just kind of surveying the area and the city in general at night. I know we've been seeing a lot during the daytime, but I think we're eventually going to add that pedestrian park there, University Park, or Unity Park, sorry. And I think we need something to do about the nightlight. Or night lights, because it's a little dark. Now I'm giving some of the industries different looks, because I don't always want a 4x4 building. I want some of the buildings to be a little unique. And we're just about to hit the high density stuff as well, which will probably be next episode, even if we hit it this episode. And we're just taking a look at Dexter Dixon. For a police car. Again, I'm going to add these police box, and I want to make sure they have the exact same name as the other police box. With internal, what is it? Internal law enforcement. And I foresee that the rest of the area closer to the Buddha temple is going to be more luxurious, and then the further away you get from the Buddhist temple, more high density. And here's the bike zone, the bike highway, is something universal. There's the high school, and I'm also thinking, this is a high traffic area, but that's acceptable still. And I'm thinking, our hotels are almost making money on all of them. And I know some abandoned buildings. That'll change. We need to get some more people here, so I'm putting industrial buildings to encourage people to come to that area. Alright, I'm going to fast forward. Alright, before I fast forward, why am I doing all this? In 3025, there was a planet called Solaris. That was a battle mech arena, kind of like Vegas, but for battle mechs, right? And one of the largest cities incorporated an international zone and had all the major house factions. Like Hobie had the House Creator faction. And I'm kind of trying to emulate the city, not exactly, just the concept of it on Boydton. I hope you appreciate it. Let's continue. I'm just reviewing the districts, and of course, Bushido Way is the primary residential area of the House Creative faction. Okay, we still need a little bit more housing, but we're almost there. But I think we also are going to need an elementary school. You will notice I added this medical building, plastic surgery. I think it fits the House Frida theme. Of course, here's the comm guards, the public service area, and I think they'll have fancy cars. Now, even though there's some freedom police, remember, Comstar and the comm guards have jurisdiction over all of Boydton still. And I have 2 recycling plants. You know, again, we're trying to stay kind of green. Remember, we're trying to protect the planet. And you'll notice that this recycling plant is close. Some of those residential areas are within the pollution zone. That's going to be a no-no. But again, I think I consider this area or that area that we passed by far away from the Buddhist temple and the slum, quote unquote, slum areas. So I'm probably going to keep it. Maybe I'll place an additional service building or so, or maybe another medical building like a sauna to help the people. But that's a slummy area. I'll probably make it like high density once we get to that spot. And I'll also put the parking here so that way if you're wanting to go to the Buddhist temple, you have some place to park. And of course, it's paid parking for whatever reason. There's a Buddhist temple during the daytime. And yeah, these buildings look, I think, appropriate for Draco's Combine unmodded, right? Now, you notice how you do have the bicycle way here? And I also started using bus lane roads. That way, I'm future-proofing because I plan on putting buses here. And I already know which way I want the bus to work. I also updated the pier area. Notice how I made it a little fancy so that way citizens can, you know, explore the water a little safely. And you also noticed on the north-south roads, I upgraded them to 6-lane to make them, you know, the actual arterial roads, and the east-west roads are level 4 lanes, which will make them the collector roads now. This is an update. Let's take a look at the Krita fishing industry zone district. Okay, you'll notice that there's a big parking lot there, but more importantly, there's an LFMC Osho rental cabin. And it's now at 100%, which is great. This will probably stay here. This was quickly made so that way it could house important CEOs and visiting factions who are visiting the city. They'll have someplace beautiful to look at the water while being able to stay near the business side of the equation. This is for like executives who want to visit the area, or top-ranking officials who want to visit the industrial area. Okay, let's get back into the city. I think it's time to start adding on to this area. We did update the roads, as I mentioned before. I think we're going to be adding the high school now. You notice that the high school is getting filled up, and we're going to need a high school in this area. This will get most of the creative residents and the Comstar and International District to the north. Well, to the south of this area, but the north part of the old district zone. So I want to hear because I plan on putting a bus route here, so this makes logical sense. And I see the city as drawing attention to some commercial industry as well, while being very close to the residential area. So it's serving two purposes. And I want it kind of fancy looking, which is why I picked this building. This is to kind of show off to the world how prosperous the house creative factory is, right? Because that's their nature. They just want to show, the goods of the world and kind of hide the bad parts to the rest of the factories. At least that's what I'm rolling with. If you're curious about the name of the high school, I believe that's Japanese for dragon's tongue. It's something in the Battletech Universe I got. So I said that sounds appropriate. I've also been alluding for a long period of time that I want to build a pedestrian park called Unity Park. I think it's about time, and I think I see to center left. This is where I want it. Yep, right in the middle. This is what I plan on putting in. Primarily Comstar, somewhat just international. So this is going to be the boring part, so I'm going to fast forward the editing, and it took me a while to kind of perfect this, so I'm going to really fast forward this for a little bit. I'm doing this because this I consider to be kind of like the least interesting part, zoning some areas. I'm also debating about having a luxury district area as well, but I don't know where I want to put it yet. All right, with the power of magic and power of editing, let's fast forward. As I'm doing this, I'm kind of mind boggled. It's like, well, I can do more than just add a pedestrian road and call it a day. I want to add the the trams I was thinking about, and or do I want to add just pedestrian roads and then have everything in pedestrian side and have some pedestrians inside the pedestrian only zone? And so until then, let's start thinking about buses. We need a public transportation system, right? And I'm looking at the hotel. Still not making great. This one's actually still losing money, but the others are making money, so that's fine. It's not losing a significant amount, so I'm not doing anything worse. Once I get office buildings, which will happen soon, that should blow up. And I'm just adding a few additional buildings. Again, I'm kind of like debating remember, this is a voiceover, so I'm from the future. I already know what's going to happen, but at the time, I was debating about how do I want to proceed in this park area? What do I want to make it so that would draw customers in? How do I make it fancy? And I'm debating about that. But again, I'm also thinking, well, until I figure out what to do, let's start doing public transportation. In real life, I used to use the public bus system here within San Antonio, Texas, and it always seemed to me that the public bus system was a very good system, and it was really good if you were poor. One nice thing about the bus system is, as long as you have roads to it, you can have buses that go anywhere. But you don't want them to go everywhere. You want them to have patterns. They should start from an area and go to an area. they must serve a purpose. And I like having like a east-west, west-east, like a circle. One on one side of the road and the bus route on the other side. In some situations, you will have just one single bus that will serve both. But for the most part, I like having the bus systems that will connect the entire area together and then meet up near other bus systems. So that way, a person can start off in one zone, take the bus, get off, and either go to a specific area like a commercial area or industry area to work, or get off, and hit another line with another big circle. So I chose to put the bus system here, and the reason why is because this area is pretty much in the middle, and all the roads are connected. But how do I connect electricity here? Unfortunately, the highway is being goofy, so I decided to add something unusual: a food truck parking. A food truck plaza. And I was thinking, yes, that kind of makes sense. As the buses are expanding off, or lots of food trucks I find are in remote areas like near a highway. Yeah. So I'm thinking that's a beautiful way of connecting the main bus terminal. And again, this is service all of Boydton, not just the Dracula's Combine or Comstar, and of course not the other patches. And this is one of the few places that I'm going to have underground areas. And then I said, you know what? Let's get some taxis as well. I find in City Skylines, no one likes taxis, but I like to put taxis because they make realistic sense. I guess nowadays everyone takes Uber, but back in the day I used to like taking taxis from time to time as well. Let's start the bus routes. So since we're near the Dracula's Combine, and I kind of future-proof the Dracula's Combine area to have bus lanes, let's start here. I kind of want to start at the Buddhist temple area, but this is kind of troublesome. Maybe I should start someplace else. I'm playing around with the different, places where I could start. Because I do want people to visit the Buddhist area. It makes logical sense. But this doesn't, going all the way over here, does that make sense? And then if so, why do I have a bus lane road, just to the right of that? But, I can have multiple bus lane roads too. So maybe this does make sense for right now. The other thing too is, I always like having them start for a specific area reason too. Like, I was trying to incorporate the Buddhist temple. Let's actually incorporate, the high school. High schools are very important for school children, and wouldn't school children love to take the bus so they can go straight to school? And if this is going to be the residential, service mostly the residential area for the Cretans, it would make sense that the bus lane, hits the major areas for residents and then goes to the school. So this is my plan for the area. So it starts off at the school, ends in the school. And I'm scrolling down, looking at different buses. I didn't get the Bio bus. I decided to get the noisy bus. Yes. The Japanese type bus, but perfect. And then I'll make the color reddish for the Dracula's Combine. And of course, Krita. Now, on my bus routes, I like having them. My naming conventions or public transportation is L for left lane, R for right lane, and CIR for circle lane. And because I like to have two types of bus schedules, one going from left to right and one going right to left. Now, so you'll notice that this one's going I would say technically right to left, but yeah, I call it L. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to start the other lane, and it's going to be the exact polar opposite. Notice how it's going against having the exact same stop, more or less. You know, I take some liberties, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be exactly the same spot because I want to make sure I hit specific areas as long as the same number of spots are the same. And I'm just double checking to make sure this, school's there. It's hard to see what the buildings are until, you're in certain vision. So I just want to make sure I was hitting the elementary school, and sure enough, I was. And again, I'm pretty much mirroring the red side, but on the other side of the other road. And of course, I'm going to pick the same type of bus. And I'm going to call it the exact same name, but instead of the L, I'm going to replace it with the R and make this one dark. And let's change that L to an R. Now you can debate which one is left lane or right lane. That doesn't matter. It's just a way to differentiate one from the other, right? And then we're going to do the same thing for the Acolyte Square. At first I'm going to call it Adap, but then I think Acolyte Square would be pretty good. And it could go from the residential zone to the fishing industry zone. Because let's face it, even though that's technically a Krita area, in lore, the residents from Acolyte Square are probably working there, realistically speaking. Or some of them are. And there's also additional industries. Remember, there's lore and there's realities. And again, I'm starting, this is with a high capacity elementary school. I'm doing this road starting from the school because that you would want school children there. And I'm debating about where I'm putting some of these roads. Do I really want to hear this? Yeah, yes I do. Yes I do. And I kind of wanted something that goes to the high school, but I put the high school in a really goofy area. But I also want to make sure that the roads, that the stops I get, at least can get to the school easily. And of course, there's the library, so I'm making sure there's a stop there. So this should be sufficient. So there's major stops that at the public library, at the high school, the elementary school, also at the industrial area. Now the type of bus. Yeah, that looks good. I think I'm going to select that one. Since this is a Comstar's color is primarily white, I'm doing them white and like off-white for the other bus. And again, this is L. I'm going to have another bus route, pretty much the exact same stops on the other side. And you'll notice that there's one or two stops that I deviate from, but it keeps the same number of stops in the same bulk area. And that's fine, as long as the additional weird stop you're taking has a main purpose to it, right? Because I feel that one's like taking it to work and one's coming from work. So like, or in this case, that's the way how I used to do it too, in real life. I used to cross the street. I was just, okay, I'm going to work, so I'm going to catch this bus that'll take me to work. And then I'll cross to the other side of the street. This bus is on the other side lane, has the exact same route, but it's going the opposite direction. I'm coming from work. And that's the way how I used to do it in real life. In this case, that's the way how I'm designing this. Notice how I'm following it. Now this one, I'm doing something different. This one is what I'm going to call the circle, I believe. Actually, I think this is the Unity. Yeah, this is the Unity Park. Unity to old Boydton homes, or old Boyd homes. So what this line is designed to do is this line is designed to take you to the original old air, original residential area, and take you to the upcoming pedestrian park area, Unity Park. All right, let's fast forward a little bit. So this next route I'm going to create, I'm going to just create it going from the old homes residential district to the industrial district and back. And I'm just going to make it to make sure that there's not enough that traffic, because this is a high traffic area. I'm just going to make a circle where it's just one, road. There's not a left and right. Again, I like having one going left, one going right, and you just cross the street to go the opposite direction. But in this case, because of traffic, I'm just going to keep it one. So I'm debating, how can I fix up this park? I mess around with it, then look around. I'm still debating about how I want to go about improving that park area. So I give it some thought, and I see here that we have a clear commercial need. And now I'm just kind of like making sure all the names are matching and stuff. I'm going to fast forward with the power of magic and editing. Wham! Now I'm just adding some taxi lanes. Now what's kind of neat is if you put the taxi lanes right next to a bus, it kind of looks like one big bus route, but it's also the taxi depot. And then I said, oh, that's as close as it's going to get. I'm going to put it there. And sometimes, due to graphics, it closes out, but still, it looks like a really good bus stop as well. So having the taxi depot there serves two purposes. All right, let's fast forward a little bit and let's improve that Unity Park. All right, this is the final version. I had to really debate on how I was going to do it. And to be honest, I'm glad I did and took my time in doing it. It was a lot of busy work, but I think now it looks beautiful. If you're wondering how I did this, I basically used basic assets and the sidewalk where people walk across to connect it and make it like a grid pattern. And now I'm just making sure all the roads are named properly. And at night, I think it's very beautiful, and I think it really brings out the city, especially since this is in a central location. And I do have one non-road, civilian or pedestrian. Sorry, not this is a military pedestrian road in the middle, and then the only road that actually goes into it is tram cars. And because I also blocked access to vehicles, this is a people only. You will notice I did enhance the city large enough where I'm now the next version of the city, and now I can have offices as well as high density commercial residence buildings as well. I did very little high density buildings. The only high density building is round about the park area. I'm doing that on purpose. The rest of it will be in the next episode. So this is Unity Heights is the district name. The park itself is called Unity Park. And Bushido Bay does have a portion of it because if you remember, the Credence negotiated that they want to be part of Unity Park as well. And of course, the main bicycle highway that I created does go, does have, go to the entrance of it, or one of the entrances of it. And the Natasha Kerensky Street, which is for trolley vehicles, goes into the heart of Unity Park. And so new buildings are just being, constructed and in some cases updated. And look, this is all pedestrian area. No vehicles can go in except the trolley. And then they can go to the real world where there's actual cars and stuff. There's the police headquarters. Boy, and at night, I think the lights and stuff really bring it out. I think it looks beautiful, especially at night. I'm debating about whether or not I want to put the financial building here, but no, I think that's going to be a Steiner building. Now, because this is a newer zone and there's not quite, I purposely put some industry there. And it's not IT, so there's going to be people who are required to go there. That way the trolley car is used. And you'll notice that I do have some commercial buildings in the middle as well, but they're very small. And in the pedestrian road, there are some pedestrian buildings as well. And since the demand to go to Unity Park isn't high, I'm not. You don't need very many cars. But look at it. Look how beautiful it is. Wouldn't you like to be able to go there? And if you're a pedestrian, there's lots of gazebos, water parks, benches, and of course places to shop and buy stuff. And in some cases, there's even places to work. So you could go to work going using the pedestrian way, or even using these trolley cars. All these are office buildings too. And as a side note, because I put the offices on that side, that one hotel that was always losing money is now banking in money. It's now at 100%, so it's going to be making us tons of money. We'll probably add additional hotels as well and some tourist areas, but we also need a large leisure area as well. Nightlife, nightclubs and stuff, both for House Krita and the International District. But that'll be next episode. This is daytime. Daytime, it doesn't look as pretty because the lights, you know, and it looks a little drab, but it still looks nice. It still looks beautiful in my opinion. So there you go, folks. From the rest of this episode, we're just going to take a look on how the rest of the city looks. Primarily looking at Unity Park. Plans for next episode? Yes, I've been doing lots of Comstar news reports, but you notice that we're not doing a news report right now. We'll take that up, next time. I'm just marveling at the beauty and majestic of Unity Park. And if you notice that the demand for residents is high, but we have uh, um, high, high density, I'm sorry, high density residents. So we can really start packing the residents in now. If you have any suggestions on how I could improve the city, using Battletech lore, or just improve the city as, overall, let me know in the comments below. I really do, look at them, and I really do appreciate any help that or suggestions you will give. I'm kind of new at this, so I'm doing my best. Please help me if you can. And again, I think especially at night, the city looks great. Until next time, have fun. It's that time of the video where I'd say adios. Thank you for watching. And if you're hearing this, I really like to say thank you for staying at least this long or skipping to the end. I really appreciate it. Better yet, the YouTube gods seem to enjoy it. Please like, subscribe, click on the bell icon to notification alerts. It really does help content creators like myself. I need the help. If you have any suggestions about my YouTube content or my channel or about this video, I'd love to hear it. Please leave a comment. Regardless, I'd like to thank you for watching. Stay safe, be entertained, enjoy life, and until next time, adios, goodbye, Hope your RNG is better than mine. Thank you.
All hands, initiate shutdown sequence.